get some Welcome to Racin and stuff, the show where we talk about racing and other stuff. And it is a very special week this week. Not only am I here with my good friend Chris.
That's what makes it special.
Nah,
it's special that I'm here. That's what makes it special.
But we have our second guest, and my guest, the man, the myth, the legend that we've been building up for weeks on here. My father, David Cook. How you doing, Dad?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it was a big weekend in sports, and we got to start talking about the All-Star race because on Saturday in the All-Star race, Martin Truex Jr. ran a paint scheme with a freaking turkey on it.
And that is the story of the night. Absolutely.
That was what happened. It was a freaking turkey on his car.
It was a flying turkey.
I don't care what kind of turkey it was.
Well, that's what they're calling it. It was a flying turkey.
Turkeys didn't fly.
But very short distances.
Oh, I was going to say,
that's why it was in the All-Star race. It was a short distance. I'm not sure it'll make it through the whole 600.
Yeah, but it's going to be he's going to run the freaking turkey paint scheme in the 600 as well.
Oh, is he?
So, yeah.
Yes. They're definitely on
even
top
bigger
of that.
news. It's coming back. The sequel, freaking Turkey, the sequel.
Yeah. That was a good thing about the night. But I think there was something that you enjoyed more about the night.
Yeah, when you want to grade an all-star race, for 90 laps, it was a snooze fest.
That's why I didn't watch until the final 10. I was actually in another room.
The first 50 laps.
That's a lie.
You had Johnson out there.
No, you weren't. I was like, was I not there?
Johnson just walked away from everybody. Wouldn't nobody really do anything about him.
Yeah.
Second 20, then you had Kyle. He was able to take off on everybody. Nobody could do anything with him.
It was not as fun as I thought it would be having everybody pit at the same time on lap 25.
No, that was kind of goofy.
It's a good idea if there's 40 cars. Then it's exciting.
Yeah, but you had too much space in between pits. They can get it out.
Of course, you get 40 cars and it's not safe.
The thing that I said about that when it happened that I really thought was interesting was they took a wide camera angle probably off like the front straightaway, up high off the suites, and it just looked really weird under green seeing all the cars come down pit road at once, like under green. It almost looked like they were being red flagged. You know how they all come down.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. I like the idea. I like how they constantly try and tinker it.
The All-Star race.
Yeah.
No, they tinker it too much. They change it like wholesale every year. And nobody can follow it. Even Johnson, in the middle of the race, was like,
okay, where are we now?
Yeah,
what do we got left?
He was like, so this is the 10-lap segment, right? And they were like, no, actually, we got one more 20-lap segment and then a 10-lap segment, Jimmy. Oh, if the drivers can't figure out what's going on, how can anybody do it? They need to standardize it. That's what they need to do. I
say since the last 10 were so exciting, just make it 10 laps.
No, the last 10 were a lot of fun.
If you make it just 10 laps, though, are you going to pay a $50 ticket to go see 10 laps?
No.
Now, if you did like a
if
Saturday
you can promise me that
track,
the result will be the same, yes.
If you're not aware of what's going on, you're listening to this. Tony Stewart won.
Yes, he did.
Let that sink in. My father, you're a big Stewart fan to the point of annoyance.
No more so than you with Junior, but we all have our favorites, and Chris with Mr. Gordon. So. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see Stewart Haas come to the winner's circle.
Even if
I am going to say that at the very beginning, when all this was talked about with Stewart Haas, I thought, "Oh, are you sure, Tony?"
Yeah.
I would just like to.
Don't even start. I'm tired of hearing it.
I would just like to point out that. From the very beginning, I said it was a fantastic idea.
Yeah, you had more faith than I did. I knew that eventually it was going to be a success. I did not think it would happen this quickly.
Let's look closer at that fantastic idea.
Yeah,
were you that on board with it?
Yes,
I think you said
no.
Your whole thing was he's going to do better than we think.
Yeah,
I thought he'd be 20th.
Way better than we thought.
Yeah, no. But let me point out that I thought he was going to be 20th in points. So you tell me better than you thought? Well, 10th in points is better than I thought. And that's what you expected, I think.
Well, I expected him to do well and make the chase.
The idea that next week he could come out of the next race as the point leader, that's more than you thought too. Let's be fair.
Yes, but I said he was going to make the chase.
Yeah,
and
so
win races,
fantastic idea. No, not fantastic idea. Let's be fair.
Tony Stewart, in all seriousness, Tony Stewart is a fantastic driver, and I knew that no matter where he was going to do well.
Yeah, but aren't you the person that said that Jimmy Johnson was better a few weeks ago?
I do think he's better.
Oh, well then what does it matter if he's Tony Stewart? Qualify your statement.
I could certainly debate that.
I think Tony Stewart is a fan. No, I think Tony
maybe
Stewart
another time. Let's not get into this too much.
I like Tony Stewart. Actually, I used to hate him.
I didn't ask you if you liked him. I said you thought was better.
I think he's a very good driver, and I knew he was going to do well. You You had some faith. You had no faith.
I have no faith in owner drivers. Just like I have no faith in drivers over 50 years old. And yeah, so I was wrong on both of them. Whatever. Well, I'm not upset about that.
And the second
fact.
owner driver to win the All-Star race.
Who was the first owner driver?
Jeff Bodine.
He won the All-Star race?
94.
Oh. Yeah, beats me. I didn't even know.
You've stumped Doug.
Oh, well, I've probably been reading more about my favorite driver's win than he has.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, cool, Stewart won. All right, next week's Coke 600. Maybe Junior will do better there.
And 6 times the winner of the All-Star race has gone on to win the 600, so we're hoping we can make it 7 this week.
Yeah, but that's in 60 years, so
well, no, 25 years.
Yeah, since they both. I'm thinking on 60 years for the 600. Okay.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, but that's
we're hoping for 7.
But you say that. That's the thing that I think is interesting, though. To me, I throw out the All-Star race. I don't look at it as any possible precursor to what can happen the next week in the 600. I just don't.
No, I will say the one thing I think that was interesting about the All-Star race that I think that especially Stewart will take out of this is he was the only car that could run the bottom and pass on the bottom during the All-Star race. Everybody else, when they had to pass, they had to go up high and get the run off the corners.
I thought that
Tony was eating them up underneath.
And I think that's fantastic that that's how the track is right now. Don't you think so? I mean, the fact that there's a high groove is kind of the preferred groove. How rare is that?
Oh, it is. It's very unique. But
except at Darlington. Yeah.
But I love the fact that Tony found something that nobody else did. Now, that just makes me think that during practice this week, everybody's going to be searching for that bottom.
And
trying to dial it up.
Well, and if Stewart, and here's my main point about this is that next week, I mean, we're the same track, but chances of Stewart having the same car, he probably has another car he's planning on bringing. We don't know if he'll use the same setup or if that same setup will work on this car. Right. Everybody else is going to have different cars too, and even though he won the race, he was probably 4th as far as the quality of his car versus everybody else. I mean, I would say Gordon Johnson.
He had help.
Maybe even like Kyle Busch until he got damage.
When you had Busch, Gordon, and Newman all get together, that just really opened it up for Tony. Yeah. Without them having that accident there in the last 10.
The moment that happened, I texted Ryan. Ryan's a friend of mine who's a big Ryan Newman fan. Go figure. Texted him and said, "God bless Ryan Newman." That was the best moment of the race.
It was fun.
Tony Stewart impresses me. Doug, you and I have talked the last couple of weeks about how the last several races he's run solid top 5, solid top 10,
constant top 5.
And I think we can all agree that it was a matter of time before he won. And I'm just so happy. This season has been a very good season, I think, so far. I'm so happy to see Mark. Yes, Hendrick, I know, but I genuinely like Mark Martin. I mean, who doesn't want to see? Who doesn't want to see that?
You didn't when he drove for
who
Roush.
Out there hates Mark Martin. I mean, you can't.
Kyle does.
Well, Kyle has no sense. He's a Harvick fan. We know this.
But
let's be fair. Kyle does.
I just think that's great, and I'll say it. Yeah, a few years ago, just when my views were tainted and whatnot, I didn't like Tony Stewart, but I actually do really like him, and I would love to see him win 5-6 races this year. That would be
That's what
really
I'd
be okay with that.
Yeah. And actually,
I'm counting out Junior for the year, so it's not like I have anybody else to root for.
And actually, I'll just let that slide. We'll just move past that. And actually, and I don't know if you caught this Saturday night, but I actually don't mind Ryan Newman anymore, strictly because he's on Stewart Haas.
Fairweather fan.
Well, you know how I am with Hendrick. I liked Kyle Busch when he drove for Hendrick.
So he doesn't drive for Hendrick, and he drives for Stewart Haas.
No, I'm talking about
Newman drives for Stewart Haas. So what difference does that make?
Well, because he likes Tony now.
Oh.
I want to see the team. I want to see the team do well.
There's guilt by association and love by association now.
Yeah.
I want to see the team do well.
Well, if there's guilt by association, I have that with Junior driving for Hendrick.
But the race, yes, Tony Stewart, that run that he got the last time, just on the bottom.
I couldn't believe he passed him completely in 1 and 2 like that. I thought,
Kenseth wasn't. I thought he wasn't going to clear him, and Kenseth was going to come back.
He just dove it down there and cleared him. He couldn't do that in 3 and 4, but he could do it in 1 and 2.
Kenseth couldn't hold it down there. If Kenseth could have held it down there, I don't think Tony gets around him.
Yeah, he tried too.
But he slid up a little bit, opened up the door, and Tony said, "Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take that $1 million check."
He got away
because it was. I think it was another kind of race like we just talked about, where Tony Stewart was 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and when you're always like that, all you're waiting for is something like, Ryan Newman going 3 wide on 2 of the best cars and causing a big wreck. And, hey, I can pass to the bottom. Looks like the guy, everybody else that's left can't.
And I knew at that point. Yeah, I was saying during the race, oh man, I wish Jeff would have taken Kyle with him. But I was thinking in my heart that Kyle Busch was not going to win because he had a lot of damage because he got crunched on both sides.
But the funny thing about you, that whole bit right there was you were saying take him out. Jeff. I'm like, if anybody's taking anybody out here, you know it's gonna be Kyle taking out Jeff Gordon.
And then